Beginning resynchronization.
Welcome to Resync, a podcast where friends talk about games. I'm Chase.
My boy! And I'm Sam. And today we have a returning guest, the love of my life, Kelly.
Oh, hey guys, I'm back. I'm so happy to be here. So what are we talking about today?
I think we're all kind of excited to talk about what we're currently playing with these new releases on our plate.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, Sam's excitement for Silksong, guess what that has me playing?
I don't have to guess because I was there.
You were there, yeah. We played side by side. I've been playing Hollow Knight on my Switch, and that's been really fun. And I have a few things that I wanted to say about that, if you guys will allow me to kind of kick us off there.
I mean, yeah, if you want to kick it off, girl.
Sure. So it is so beautiful. That game is so fucking beautiful. And you were definitely right to have been suggesting that I give this game a try for so long, Sam, because I love it so far.
Oh, yeah.
It's, for those who don't know, I am really, really huge on the soundtracks that they use in video games, and the music for Hollow Knight is so gorgeous, like significantly more than I was expecting, which is kind of strange because you have showed me the soundtrack for that game, Sam, many times. And it's to the point where I actually was like, okay, this song is too pretty. I'm going to learn to play it myself on piano.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah, you just showed me yesterday that you were learning the Dirtmouth theme.
Yeah, I've started learning to play the Dirtmouth theme on piano because it's just so beautiful. I cannot get over how astonishingly pretty this music is. And I actually didn't even really know what the parameters of a Metroid game was until
Metroidvania, you mean?
Yes, thank you. I didn't know the parameters of a Metroidvania game until very recently. And so that's kind of when you were like, okay, no, if you do like the style of Metroidvanias, you should really, really try Hollow Knight. Mm-hmm. It is so fun. And I'm really enjoying it so far because I haven't gotten super far into the game yet. The only real ability that I have unlocked so far to get me into different locations is the ability to do the soul spell. Is that what it's called?
Is it Vengeful Spirit?
I believe so.
Let me look it up.
Yeah, but I've just gotten into Green Path.
Okay.
Yeah, so
okay.
I'm still very naive and very new to the world, so I'm still kind of just like, hey, what is going on? Because Sam was literally sitting next to me when we were playing. He was playing Silksong next to me, and I was playing Hollow Knight. And there was like a big enemy that's kind of like your precursor to the first boss, the False Knight.
The False Knight, yeah.
And
she stumbled into that fight, and I was like, what's she gonna do? And I actually paused and slept my Steam Deck and just watched her.
You said that I did pretty good
you
for
did.
being super underprepared.
you were like freaking out a little bit at first, but you almost beat him your first try, and then you had a moment of panic and just like ran into him.
I did
until you died.
We've all been there.
Well, I psyched myself out because for those who have never played Hollow Knight, there's this first like boss that you can get to called the False Knight. And his moveset is that he has this really big weapon that he slams into the ground. You have to avoid that, then run back up to him and hit him. And then he bounces on his butt and does this shockwave that you have to jump to avoid. And then after you've hit him enough times, he like falls down and this little stupid bug looking head pops out of the top of the armor. And I didn't realize you were supposed to hit that, and it scared me. So I screamed and ran away.
Yeah, she got to the point where you stun him and you can do extra damage while he's stunned. And she just went, what's that? It scared her when the little slug head popped out.
And I ran away, and Sam goes, no, you have to hit him. You have to hit him. And by the time I ran back over to him to start hitting him, he was already back in the armor and doing like the smash his mace on the ground and slam on his butt moveset.
Well, he did He did one that you hadn't seen yet. He did the back and forth smack that brings all the stuff down from the ceiling.
Oh yeah, so then you have
Then
like
you
these
died
falling things from
right
the
away.
ceilings to avoid while he's also trying to beat the shit out of you.
Yeah.
And that made me very scared.
But yeah, you fought the False Knight, and then you also fought one of the other introductory bosses, or at least what I would call an introductory boss, Gru's mother.
I actually fought the
Or
Gru's
Gruz-
mother.
Gruz or Gruz, I don't know.
I actually fought that boss before I fought the False Knight.
Your first like attempt at the False Knight was before you fought Gruz.
Yes, that's true. My first attempt at the False Knight was before that. Then I died. Then I said, okay, that was scary. I'm not doing that again for a little while. And then I found the other introductory boss and I got that one taken care of pretty easy. Then I was like, okay, I guess I should go back and do the False Knight now.
I mean, games like Hollow Knight are the perfect. Oh, this boss is kicking my ass. I'll circle back to it later.
Yeah.
Like, definitely a good strategy for Hollow Knight, especially if like you unlock an ability later that could help you with that fight.
I will say
Well, not that fight, but
one thing about the introductory bosses in Hollow Knight, still way easier than Margit and Elden Ring.
that's true.
I fucking hate that guy.
Yeah, you had a tough time with that, but
Elden Ring is one of those games that I fear I genuinely rage quit and have not picked it up since
that's true.
Godric
Oh,
the
man.
Grafted.
What?
Fuck that guy, dude. I say that with my whole heart. Fuck that guy.
All right. But yeah, you've been getting into Hollow Knight. I'm glad you've been liking it. The
Yeah.
music is so amazing. I agree. Green Path, where you have just gotten to, is actually it's got my favorite theme of like the whole game. So Green Path's theme is definitely up there for me in terms of like video game soundtrack songs.
Mm-hmm.
Chase, I know that you haven't beat Hollow Knight, but I know you have some experience with it. Do you remember like how you felt when you first played that game?
Yeah, I think probably similar to both of you. I loved the aesthetic of it. The art was
Oh,
an
yeah.
immediate draw.
Beautiful hand drawn.
Again, so I will preface this now because music does play a big factor into what I have to talk about coming up. But this podcast has definitely shifted my perspective on game music, where I have made sure that I am making an effort to pay attention to it and really let it, wash over me.
Oh, I
And
love that.
I'm sad to say Hollow Knight was in that time frame for me where I wasn't really paying attention to the music. I was just hitting the vibe of like the gameplay. But I mean, from that perspective, I really enjoyed it. I did grow up playing the original Metroids. I was never a big Castlevania person, but the resurgence of the Metroidvania style games has been cool to watch, and I definitely think, I know we've talked about this, but Hollow Knight is definitely up there as one of the best examples of doing a Metroidvania, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And that's one that, as we've been talking about it more, I might just have to break down and go back and see if I can pick up my old save and reach the end. Because I know that I'd made it a decent chunk of the way in.
Yeah.
I believe I had reached the White Palace.
And see, it's been a while for me since I have played all the way through it, so I don't even really remember that.
I don't know what that is.
But because leading up to Silksong, I was replaying and I got 12 hours into a playthrough, but I only fought like a couple bosses. I made sure that I encountered Hornet just because Silksong, but I didn't really get too far in the way of progression other than like exploring a lot. Yeah, I can't quite remember the end of that game either. I'll have to go back and play it again after I get my fill of Silksong, but we'll see how long that takes.
Well, I know that we left things off on kind of a cliffhanger talking about what we projected Sam's Silksong hours to be looking like.
So far, I have about 10 hours, so I'm not quite close to any of our estimates or any
Yeah.
of our guesses.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty sad about my guess. The second I realized how much Silksong you were playing.
I mean, I played it all day the first day I had it. Like the day it came out, I played it for about 8.5 hours, but I have not played it as much on the days after that. just because I've been a little more busy than I expected to be.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure I'm going to be playing it at least a couple more play sessions before the episode airs. So we'll see. I'll make a little post on Blue Sky with that episode about what the hour breakdown ends up being and how close all of us were.
Oh,
or
that'll be fun.
how far.
I was gonna say we're
Oh.
counting on Jeopardy rules here.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna be
What was
I
your
think
guess? It was in the 40s, right?
It was like 47 hours. It was like 47 hours.
I don't think I can feasibly do that. So you might already have lost.
I fear I may have. The reason I shot so high is because I remember how much Elden Ring you played when Elden Ring came out. And so I was like,
Yeah.
well, surely he's going to get real high numbers for playtime for a game that he has been waiting for and actively coming into our office to tell me Silksong is coming out in 50 minutes. I'm not going to be able to talk.
Yeah,
I'm like,
well,
okay.
I would like to remind you that when Elden Ring came out, I was unemployed.
That's, yeah.
So
Okay.
there
Yeah.
was a little bit of a difference
Sure.
in availability for that release.
Yeah.
I was definitely had a lot more time to burn. But yeah, I've been playing Silksong. It's very good.
I was gonna say I'm chomping at the bit to hear your thoughts on it so far.
I would love to tell you about Silksong. It's been 7 years of waiting for what Chase, you brought this up earlier as we were eating breakfast. What people are also saying similarly to Baldur's Gate 3 is the game is too good. You can't set expectations this high. It's going to ruin game development for everyone else. It was worth the wait because, I wasn't one of those people who was looking at Silksong news every single day, waiting patiently, like chomping at the bit for any information I could get. I was definitely more of the after a couple years of radio silence, I'll see it when I see it type of people. And I only really started getting excited when I heard the announcement that it was coming out on the 4th.
Because it was pretty quick between the initial announcement and the actual release date, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think when they announced it, it was only 2 weeks away or a week and a half away.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I was definitely willing to let myself succumb to the hype at that point because it was so close. And I've been playing. Like I said earlier, I've put in about 10 hours so far. I've unlocked 6 different area maps. I've been to quite a few distinct areas so far. I've unlocked one of the movement abilities. There are these new things in Silksong called crests, and to get these crests, there are chapels. And you go into these chapels, and there's kind of a little gauntlet fight that you have to do, where a bunch of different enemies from that area will spawn in waves and come at you, and you have to make it through that fight to unlock the gates and go up to the next room and earn the crest. And the crests are different loadouts, and they give you a different layout for your tool setup and for your attack pattern even. You start out with the Hunter's Crest, and the Hunter's Crest gives you Hornet's normal attack pattern with the downward diagonal dash as your down attack and medium speed regular swings. And then I found 2 other crests now, one of them being the Wanderer's Crest that gives you a quicker attack pattern and more of a regular Hollow Knight style downward slash. And then the one that I just unlocked right before we started recording is the Reaper Crest. And the Reaper Crest gives you heavy attack patterns and you do a arcing flip attack and you jump up, and then the momentum of your rotation keeps you in the air for a second longer, which can pair really well with some of the other movement abilities, which has been cool to see. So just the crest alone is a crazy addition that adds so much depth to the possibilities of how you can change the game's feel, which has been really fun.
I love that. That's a really cool evolution on Hollow Knight.
Mm-hmm. Something that I've noticed just from, glancing over and watching you play, and something that I wish they would have had in Hollow Knight, I really love that she has little indicative voice lines.
That's actually perfect because I definitely wanted to bring that up as well. One of the things that I wrote in my little notes app here is that Hornet not being a silent protagonist is super cool. Mm-hmm. In Hollow Knight, you're just a silent protag. You got NPCs here and there that will talk to the character, but there's nothing coming. It's like Link from Zelda. But Hornet, on the other hand, is very talkative. You will often meet an NPC, and Hornet will even like be the one to engage the conversation as you meet an NPC.
Oh, that's so cool.
But yeah, that's one of the things that I have been really enjoying about Silksong as well, is that there are a bunch of NPCs. Like, whereas in Hollow Knight, you feel the emptiness of Hollow Nest. You feel the abandoned ghost of a place where people used to live.
Yes.
Silksong definitely feels more alive. There are more NPCs. Your character talks to them. It feels much more lived in, and not in like a this is a superior thing kind of way. It's like Hollow Nest was supposed to feel like devoid of life and like
That's exactly
like a empty shell.
That's exactly what I was about to say, is that it's just a different stylistic choice, because that's something that I feel like is a very, and obviously, I can't speak to it a ton because like I said, I'm not very far into the game at all. So I don't want to talk about something that I probably am ignorant about, because I'm sure there are going to be further developments and changes in the game. I've already discovered another one of the NPCs that actually comes up from underground and starts to live in the village again. I cannot remember his name.
I believe you're talking about Sly.
Yes, I am talking about Sly. I feel like I'm kind of getting ahead of myself here, but I do really kind of wish that the Hollow Knight did have just like a little, just even like a, like if he falls down or something, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's definitely one of those things where like that character was meant to be just like
A Hollow Knight.
Well, you're actually not the Hollow Knight. That's not. You play the knight.
You're right.
Oh, interesting. I know we don't do a visual recording of this podcast, but for the listeners, I just became like the :O emoji when Sam just said that. He said, "You're actually not the Hollow Knight," and I said, "Oh."
Yeah, and you'll discover that
I was
you're
about
not
to
the
say,
Hollow Knight.
Don't tell me anymore. Don't tell me anymore. I'm not there yet.
I won't.
That is cool that the environmental storytelling between Hollow Knight having such a devoid like area versus, avoiding any and all spoilers for present parties, but based on the ending, then see how things have continued.
Well, and Team Cherry said that they wanted Silksong to be available for people who haven't played Hollow Knight to just jump in.
Oh, I love that.
And I don't believe there's any reason that that's not the case. Like, you can definitely jump into this first. I think it'll be, obviously, it would probably be a good primer to play Hollow Knight first, because you'll just be a lot more familiar with the little things, the quirks of Hollow Knight in general. But yeah, the fact that there are, I would say, a very significant amount more of NPCs really lends to the feeling that like, oh, Silksong is very contrasted against Hollow Knight's emptiness. Like in Silksong, the whole point is that, and this, I don't know how people feel about spoilers. I don't think what I'm about to say is a spoiler because it's like the intro cutscene, but Hornet has been captured and brought to a different land.
Oh.
So you're not even in Hollow Nest. You're in a different kingdom entirely.
Okay.
And so like the feeling of being in a different place that is full of life is like because you've been brought to a new land.
Oh, well then everything I said about like, oh, well, I wish they had this, I take that back then, because that's the perfect contrast.
Well, and I mean, but like you said, the knight doesn't speak, but Hornet does, and it's really cool, and I enjoy that a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's kind of strange because I'm caught between like, oh, I wish he did make some sort of noise, and also like I understand why he doesn't, and that makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm. Well, and one thing that's been really cool to see is because there is more of a focus on Hornet interacting with the denizens of the kingdom that Silksong takes place in, because I can't quite remember what that place is called. But just all the bugs that you meet, one of the other cool things that I've noticed is that when you're talking to these NPCs, you get kind of like introduced to this language. And it's not like super deep as far as I can tell. Every once in a while, like you'll meet a character and they'll say like some random foreign word to you. I can't think of any of the specific examples off the top of my head, but there will be times when you're talking to an NPC and they will use a word that is obviously not English, and then you'll kind of through context reading the rest of what they're saying figure out what that word means, and then like that will happen with other NPCs, and you kind of start to build a little bit of a lexicon of this bug language, which is, it helps make everything feel alive, even more so, with all the NPCs talking and kind of laying out this, like, there's like a living culture that you're starting to uncover.
That's super rad.
And there's also one of the elements of this game is that, so like I said, Hornet was captured and brought to this land, and Hornet escaped capture, and your goal is to basically seek out your captors and get answers for why they brought you to this new land. And along that path, you're introduced to this land being very like religious. Like there is a spiritual journey that people take. The path to the Citadel is like a rite of passage for this land's culture. And so a lot of the bugs you meet are pilgrims on the way to the Citadel, like climbing this like spiritual test.
Interesting.
That's really interesting.
So there's quite a lot more to unpack in terms of like the world building of this new kingdom that Hornet has been brought to. And that has been very fun to see.
I'd say that alone is enough to further sell me on it, because I love a good theological allegory and or just representation.
Yeah.
Well, and I will say, like, Hollow Knight is beautiful, and the music of Hollow Knight is beautiful. I think Silksong has stepped it up in both departments. Like, it looks so pretty and sounds so good, and it's just as snappy with the gameplay. It's super fun. But without, talking about too much other than things that don't feel spoilery, I've fought about 3 bosses now. I won't really talk about the context for the bosses because it's more fun to leave that a surprise, but I fought one called the Bell Beast. I've fought Lace, and I have fought, I think it's called the Fourth Chorus. And those are like the 3 main bosses, or not main bosses, but like 3 real boss fights that I've gone through. There are other, like those gauntlet fights that I brought up in the chapels that have like, the doors shut and you can't leave until the fight is over or you die. But for those who have played, those fights are the ones that I've seen so far. And I'm eager to get to more of them. But I've mostly been exploring. I've unlocked, like I said, 6 of the maps and 8 areas or whatever, but yeah.
Do you have a favorite NPC so far for Silksong?
So far, my favorite NPC is, there is another map maker, kind of like Cornifer.
Oh, hell yeah.
And her name is Chakra.
Ooh. Oh, wait, I think, have I seen this character?
You may have, like, glancing over at my Steam Deck while
Does
I was
she,
sitting
like,
next to
sing in a super fucking beautiful way as you approach her?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Chakra...
I like her.
Chakra is, like I said, kind of like this game's version of Cornifer, another map maker, but this time a warrior map maker.
Ooh.
She's like a tribal map maker, and she's looking for her master. So she's also like actively moving around the game world.
Oh.
And she carries around these chakram. So like her name is very reminiscent of the weapon that she uses. So she has these rings that will kind of act as Cornifer's pages to tell you that like she's nearby. And as you get close, you'll also start to hear, like Kelly said, that she sings, and you'll hear her song and kind of be able to follow that to find her. And yeah, she's really cool. I like her a lot. A close second would have to be, there's a caravan of fleas.
Oh, rad.
And in Hollow Knight, you can find and save grubs. In this game, you can find and save fleas and send them back to the caravan. And I won't say too much more, but that's been cool. I like the fleas. They're funny. They've got good vibes, and I'm hoping that it stays good vibes. I won't say much more. I don't want to spoil anything for Kelly.
You're stressing me out, dude.
With the way that NPCs, from what I remember, worked in Hollow Knight, you'll have to let me know how collecting all the fleas goes.
Yeah, yep. I will definitely be interested to see how that goes. Well, and one of the other things, this perfectly tees me up for this, they're kind of like quests. There are these wishes that you can grant people, and you can run into NPCs throughout the world, and they'll ask you to grant them their wish. Like, it'll be like a quest. So one of the quests that I got early on was to find like 6 fleas. And after I found 6 fleas, it kind of like something happened. That's actually what I just did. So I'm now just finished with that first flea like wish. But one of the other ones was to give, there's like a craft bug in the first little town or the first little outpost. And his wish is to get 200 of these shell shards. And then if you give him the shell shards, he'll craft a wish board. Then other bugs can come and put these like basically quests up on the wish board, and you can take them and have some
Oh.
objectives to do throughout.
Oh,
And
that's
been
really
cool.
cool.
So I've liked that. It gives you a little bit of stuff to do instead of just having to like, oh, I need to get in Hollow Knight, like, oh, I need to go grind 800 geo to get this item that's going to let me progress. You could be like, oh, I have this like wish that I can, go fulfill and do some of these quests. And during that, instead of just feeling like you're grinding for no reason, you're doing some other stuff as well as grinding out some rosaries, which rosaries are the geo of Silksong.
Which is the currency of the game, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's cool because I would say that would maybe be similarly to in the past whenever I've talked about like older games having new counterparts come out that like really evolve the system is it adds a little bit more reason for the backtracking through a Metroidvania other than just like, oh, I've got to run through here again because now I need to climb back up to
Yeah.
this spot. It's like, oh, well, hey, I've got to go back through this area anyways. Oh, I wonder if there are any wishes that I can do down in that region.
Yeah, I totally
yes,
agree.
I agree.
It's been good. It's been a very welcome addition to the format because having those secondary objectives that you can like fall back on during those moments where you need to like reassess your next move is nice.
Yeah.
Well, and what's really funny about me playing Hollow Knight is that I can tell that I have no sense of real loss in that game yet because I'm just collecting geo, just minding my own freaking business, collecting geo, wandering the world. And Sam goes, well, have you bought anything cool yet? And I said, no, I'm just running around. I had like 900 geo. And this man looks at me. He goes, oh my God, you need to get back to the surface. And I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I
And
was like, you got to go spend that before you lose it.
he was like, if you
Yeah.
die and then if you can't go back to your body and get that again, if you die before you recollect your soul from where you died last time, you lose all of that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
Without getting into any like deeper details, I can't remember. Hollow Knight on the surface, there's a banker, correct?
No, that's a different area.
Okay.
It's in the Fog Canyon.
Okay. But I am correct that there is somebody that eventually you can give Geo over to, correct?
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. You can put it away for safekeeping.
Well, backtracking a little bit, because I kind of want to know the answer to this question because I know you have a really deep love for Hollow Knight.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite Hollow Knight NPC?
It's been a while. I mean, Hornet. Like, Hornet is a really easy answer, even though it's kind of a low-hanging fruit. But yeah, it's going to be Hornet. I love Hornet. Hornet adds this, like, sense of wonder to Hollow Knight because you encounter her so early on and, like, she's always eluding you. She's always, like, just on the edge of the screen as you walk in, and then she disappears. And you're
That's-
like, wait, what the hell's going on? Who is that?
When you were playing Silksong and I was playing Hollow Knight next to you, actually, the first time I saw Hornet, I ran up to her and I pointed and I said, "It's your girl!"
Yeah. So Hornet is probably my favorite. What are your guys' favorite characters out of Hollow Knight?
As well, I haven't met very many, so I feel like I don't have a super good grasp to give a definitive answer
Well, but
right
so
now.
far.
far, I love Cornifer.
Cornifer's
In
funny.
terms of like his dialogue and just being like, yeah, like I always love a character who's like, yep, I'm away from her, but I love my wife. I miss her.
Bafanada.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say,
dude, I was about to say, in terms of like voice line, she is my favorite. I don't remember her
she's sick.
name. She's Bafanada
Iselda.
lady.
I love
Iselda.
them.
is her
Iselda.
name,
Yeah. I love to walk up to her store and talk to her, and she just goes, Bafanada. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, girl, I feel you.
How about you, Chase? Who's your favorite?
Well, I do want to throw in. I love to see like an in love couple in video games like that. It's always a cute little addition.
Yeah, you got to root for them.
As a joke, I gotta throw out Papa Grub because I love the boy.
Oh, yeah.
But then I can't help but Zote.
Zote, yeah, Zote's a funny little guy.
Zote's the best and worst.
Zote the
and
mighty.
Zote is Zote.
I've got no idea who that is.
You will soon.
All right.
But so, Chase, I know that you said you haven't finished Hollow Knight, but a game I know you have finished recently, I know you want to talk about. Tell us about Expedition 33.
Oh my god. So I believe I've talked about it a little bit in the past on a couple episodes. So I want to counter myself from the past and say I definitely had my issues, especially as I got towards the end of it, of feeling like, oh man, like I need something new, like enemy wise, to happen real fast to keep this entertaining. But from a story perspective, oh my god. There were so many times playing that game where a cutscene would end and I'd just be sitting there going like, are you kidding me? Like, no. I need more. And so with both of us having games that were releasing last week, and being excited for them, I still having what felt like a very small amount left of Expedition 33 to get through. I was like, okay, I'm gotta just crack down and get through it. That last section, corrected my issues of like, we definitely got another batch of variety for enemies. And man, the way the story concluded, just, I know I told you, you're given, without any spoilers, you're given an option at the ending. And I took the bad choice because I told you this, so for reference for you, Kelly.
Yeah, I was about to say, I fear I'm going to need a too long didn't read. I know nothing about this game at all.
Well, and for any listeners who don't know what the game is.
Yes. So for those who don't know, Expedition 33 is a game where the world is set up such that an almost could be described as like semi-eldritch being has been counting down on a yearly basis, and with every reduction in number, everybody that age or older, or not really older because everybody older would already have had this happen, is gommaged is the term used, and they almost Marvel's Endgame get Thanos snapped and just deteriorate into beautiful flower petals.
Mm-hmm.
I do know this game. I forgot. Sam was telling me, he was like, hey, I think you'd really like this game. I had completely forgotten about it.
I think you would be a fan.
Okay.
Without giving any spoilers, I would say the biggest theme of the game is learning to let go.
Oh, God.
To which I did not do that, so I got the bad ending. And
he said, white knuckling that shit, not letting go ever.
I was about to say, this game sounds like it would
just
make
try
me
me.
freaking cry.
Oh yeah, I'm not ashamed to say there were a couple times where they kind of got me, and especially I told Sam there some really just innocuous scenes where it's a very normal conversation. You know, you're not having these deep like, oh, everything's gone moments, but you just having two people have a conversation where they discuss like, yeah, like things have been better, things are kind of bad right now, like on an emotional level, and just the candidness, the way the conversation happens, it just hits you like, oh, that's a little too real. Like you're reading me.
Yeah.
But
speaking right to your soul.
Truly. And it yeah, man, I don't know a better way to describe my feelings about the ending that I got other than like sickly sweet of I made it to the end. I made my decisions about the choices I was going to make, and it left such a bittersweet like, oh, like I got what I wanted. Was that worth it?
Oh, no.
Was that worth it? Do I kind of feel like a worse person for having made that choice? For a bunch of ones and zeros? Yes, but I
But you
stand by
walked your
it.
path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you finally ended up making it through it.
Well, and I do have to say, this is why I threw out the podcast has been changing the way I interact with these games.
Oh yeah, me too.
Because I initially getting back into completing it, I was a little put off. I was having my issues with it. So for that final push, I hopped on Discord and was streaming the last little bit to some friends, and I was getting caught up in the music of the final boss fights like
Wow.
so heavily.
And that's big for you.
It is. And then it really put it into perspective when, as I was like in the middle of the fight, one of my buddies who was watching goes, "Man, this kind of like the music goes really hard." And immediately, without missing a beat, I was like, "Dude, you don't even know the half of it. This entire game's soundtrack has been just hitting it."
Oh my god, that makes my music nerd heart so happy.
And it's very
I-
French too, so Kelly, you would
Oh,
love it.
you
Oh my god, let me at that.
Heavy-
Yeah, let me at that.
heavy on the piano and the string instruments. It's beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, you're freaking speaking my language right now.
I'm not gonna lie, they throw in some electric guitar in the final song,
Oh,
or
yeah.
at least the final battles theme, and oh my god, dude, I was like the most locked in on that game that I have been since I started it.
Wow,
Oh man.
that's sick. I'm
It-
glad that it like really brought you back at the end.
It did, and well, and for the issues that I was having with it, I think it is a testament to how much I did enjoy it compared to maybe how I thought I felt about it at the time. Because in preparation for Chronos coming out, I had to uninstall Expedition 33 to make some room, and
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I actually felt a little sad to uninstall it. I was
Damn.
like, I could play a little bit more.
Continuing
So-
that bittersweet goodbye.
Oh, I love a game
yeah,
like that.
again, just refusal to let go. But the team behind it would be happy to know I did let go. I have
Uninstalled.
I have moved on.
The team would be happy to know that I've uninstalled their game.
Hey, all good things must come to an end.
True.
Or if you're like me, you just don't ever let go.
Well, in the same vein of the issues you were starting to have with Expedition 33, kind of like losing you in the middle bit, I had that same issue with Baldur's Gate 3. And Kelly, I know that you have some stuff to say about that game.
Oh, do I? Oh boy, let me tell you. Everybody strap in because I'm always going to have something to say about Baldur's Gate 3. We're coming up, actually not even coming up. We just passed recently Baldur's Gate 3's 2-year anniversary of its like full release. And oh boy, do I love that game. I think that is my second most played game on Steam. I have like hundreds of hours on that freaking game. And I am for the first time doing a Dark Urge playthrough. And for those who do not play Baldur's Gate, which I would be shocked if there's not at least like a little bit of baseline knowledge of it because it's such a popular game.
It's very in the pop culture reference sphere.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I feel like there's a little bit of osmosis if you're online.
I would agree. I'm just trying to think in terms of like if my mom were listening to this podcast, because my mom did say she wanted to listen. So Mom, this is for you. So
And for all the moms.
and for all the moms, dude, for
Oh,
anybody,
if we have any
yeah,
listening.
yeah. So the Dark Urge playthrough is basically like you get to play as this main character in this universe, but you can choose to do a playthrough of the game where you're basically like you've got this evil murder god kind of in your head where you like wake up and you're like, wow, I have no memories of my past life, but I kind of really want to kill people. Murder sounds really good right now, you guys. And so that's been very, very interesting to finally take a full stab, no pun intended, at that game. Just doing a completely different route that I have not done before because, oh boy, let me tell you, I have put in the hours on Baldur's Gate and it is so fun and refreshing and really given me a new breath of fresh air with that game.
It's the quintessential evil playthrough.
It is. And I wasn't even really getting tired of that game. I mean, I fear I will play Baldur's Gate until the cows come home. I'll just do different things. I'll make different choices. But it's really my first time that the narrative choices have been so drastically different. Because right now where I am in my playthrough is that I'm kind of in this different area of the first part of the game where you're in the Underdark. And there are these creatures in the Underdark who are worshipping a fae being and don't realize it because this fae being has declared themselves Bual. And in Baldur's Gate, the god of murder is Baal, Bhaal. And so this fae creature has described itself as Bual. And so when you're kind of like Baal's chosen, it sounds...
I love being chosen by balls.
Yeah, I know, right? So if you're Baal's chosen in Baldur's Gate when you're doing the evil playthrough, the Dark Urge playthrough, and then you come across these worshippers of Bual, your mind is not happy. Have you guys experienced this at all?
I've done one playthrough of Baldur's Gate with you.
It's so interesting because you walk up to these worshippers and they're like, we're worshiping Bual. And you're like, excuse me? And they're like, yeah, Bual, the god of like murder. And you're like, okay, listen up, you fishy bitches. The god of murder is actually Baal. So, like, what the hell are you guys talking about? And it's very interesting. It's a very unique narrative experience that I've not had before. And I've been playing this game for 2 years.
See, I'll be very excited to discuss once you complete your campaign, because the only character so far that I have reached the ending with has been a dirge.
Really?
Yes, I did an Oathbreaker Paladin dirge.
Oh, lovely.
For those who haven't played, during a dirge playthrough, you can give completely into your dark urges, or you can attempt to resist them. And I made 0 attempts at resistance, and was every D&D DM's least favorite player, because nobody was living in any region that I walked through.
Oh boy. You and I are going to have a really fun time discussing that then, Chase, because I am going the path of most resistance for my Dark Urge.
Yes, I tried to run one of those, and just the group fell apart, so you'll have to keep me posted.
Yeah, I sure will. I definitely... Oh gosh, and this just definitely speaks to what kind of person I am, because I'm a little chaos gremlin. You both know that about me, especially you, Sam. We're engaged, you live with me. I am chaos a lot.
Chaos incarnate.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I'll allow it. I'm a little chaos goblin, but I am a morally good chaos goblin. Even in video games, it kills me to be mean and evil. It makes me so sad. It makes me so sad. So it's very, very interesting to be like a god's chosen to be like the right hand of murder. And I'm like, but I just want to be a good little lady.
You chose the wrong path.
Well, I just wanted to get the new experience.
No, I know. But you're going to have to resist being good.
Yeah, well, with the motif of Baal being murder and bodies, that kind of connects to the new game that I've been playing one day after you with your release of Silksong, Sam.
Oh, yeah.
I had the glorious Chronos the New Dawn dropped on me.
Ooh.
And I've got to say, as a horror fan,
Spooky boy.
I'm loving it. I do want to correct. I believe in the last episode, talking about this in anticipation, I said it kind of gave vibes of Dead Space and BioShock.
Mm-hmm.
So a correction to that, because that was all vibes based, because I like to avoid trailers for the most part.
Okay.
As we've gotten a lot more into the spoiler territory with how trailers get released.
Mm-hmm.
So my correction to that is, this is Dead Space meets Resident Evil or Silent Hill.
More leaning into the scary side of things.
Yes, it has been so atmospheric so far. No spoilers, because not ashamed to say. I've only gotten about an hour and 50 or so minutes into it, but you play as D3576, a diver working for a mysterious organization where so far all I know about is we are a part of the Vocation. The Vocation continues.
So it's like an
Uh,
underwater diving game?
No.
Oh, thank God.
But it does still manage to almost give you the claustrophobia of being underwater, and like some
Oh.
things just could be drifting by from anywhere. I've gotten very little of the story elements so far, but anybody who has started the game within the first 30 minutes will have as much information as me. You are exploring, it seems to be an almost kind of like a post-COVID world.
Oh.
If COVID had been something far, far, far worse, every bit of information I've collected so far points to some sort of outbreak of a virus happening, and society, just like in COVID, coming down in these large quarantines. Nobody leaves the house. Families are just on top of each other.
Oh, so is that why you have like a dive suit adjacent thing?
Yes.
Is you're protecting yourself from that?
Yep, and all
Oh.
of the healing items are suit patches.
Oh, okay.
To avoid anything getting in. And so I still don't really have much of an idea of what it is necessarily.
Yeah.
But very Dead Space-esque in that whatever this virus is, it is having a profound effect on flesh. Most of the game so far has been exploring like destroyed sections of like city where walls of buildings and bits of streets are covered in these large swaths of biomass, just piles and piles of flesh all congealed together, almost spider-like in the way that they'll like wrap up along and continue to grow with the wall. And I would say the enemies I've encountered so far very much give the Thing. It's two heads diverging from one. It's very long arms being used as like almost whip-like weapons.
Oh, that's creepy.
So far, I have gotten just about far enough to go through an apartment building, which is where I've already told you, Sam. I had my big baby moment. Of, oh no.
Yeah, you were saying that you hit a spooky part.
Yeah, well, so sound design on this game has been immaculate. I feel like, I mean, it's not hard to do this properly, but like your footsteps, you're hearing every thump of the metal boots of your suit hitting ground.
Oh, wow.
And so walking through this apartment complex, a large amount of it is locked off, and they're like gated doors you can see through, and just a lot of biomass, and it's pitch black other than your flashlight.
Ooh.
So I've been, slowly creeping my way along, and about halfway through, you have to backtrack all the way back down to the very beginning of the building, and then go back up.
Oh no.
And then backtrack through it again.
And
And
then
every time
stuff changes.
no, so that's where they get you. They build that anticipation of, most horror games, you have to go back through an area, it's about to get real bad.
Mhm.
So I would turn around every time, and just that anxiety building of like, oh, it's going to be here this time. It's going to happen. It's
So
going to
they just-
happen.
They get you with the anticipation.
And then nothing had happened yet. And so on my third trip back up, all of a sudden I realized like I took a step and I could still hear like it sounded like something like stomping.
Oh.
So I just froze. I was like, oh God, I gotta make sure there's nothing coming. So I'm just waiting, and nothing comes. I'm like, okay. So I start walking again, and then all of a sudden I hear something from a doorway nearby. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, is this it? Like 2 seconds later, I'm like, okay, that door's fine. I go to walk by, and something just slams through into me.
Oh,
And
no.
I immediately jumped and let go of my controller because I was like, no, I got, oh, fuck. Like, I'm supposed to be so much better about this. Like, dude, as somebody who generally is not fazed by horror games anymore, I'm letting this one get to me.
The atmosphere is pulling you in.
It is. There's, the enemies so far aren't like scary. They don't have like necessarily the most grotesque design I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the ambiance, the environments you're going through with the notes you're finding, it's just adds to this very unnerving feeling of I know I'm not alone.
Oh,
no
Yeah.
matter how alone I might feel.
That's
they're
creepy.
getting you with the psychological aspect.
Yes.
I love that shit. Don't get me wrong, I'm too scared to ever play a game that's going to do that to me, but I always love watching when games turn the psychological aspect of horror against you and really make the anticipation the biggest enemy. Like you make
Yes.
yourself your biggest enemy.
Exactly.
It's so interesting.
And that's the thing too, is like I don't believe that like spot was meant as a jump scare. I think I kind of forced it into being one
Yeah.
with like how slowly I was working through and crossing the doorway. Like I'm sure that enemy would have just been waiting for me to like spin and start attacking, but because I chose to wait, I gave it time to get closer to the door
Yeah.
and pop out on me. So yeah, I mean they are making me my own worst enemy right now.
Your anticipation of what might happen.
Exactly.
Your fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean this game definitely has that. The only thing that I could maybe say it is reminiscent of with how it makes me feel in that regard would be Darkwood.
I'm not familiar with that. What's that?
Yeah, I'm not either.
So that is a top-down Polish horror game.
Ooh.
And because the setting of this game seems to be, I believe it to be Poland. It hasn't been directly stated in any of the like readings that I've done. But a lot of the writing is in Cyrillic. And I believe that one of the news clippings that I read did reference Poland, but both games in a weird way deal with some sort of like eldritch fleshy thing
okay.
overtaking. Very, very different games, but just there is something to be said about using Poland's architecture and setting for horror that so far in almost everything that I've seen do it pulls off this really almost unique, I think I've heard it described as like European or like Slavic depression style.
Yeah. I've
But
heard of that.
It really just hits this like it's almost like scary nostalgia. Like there's
Oh.
something so familiar about it, but also so like again, it's like being alone in a room and just having that like somebody's in here with me. I just don't know it.
One of the shadow people I saw in my sleep paralysis growing up was it would just be a dark figure that walked into my room because I always had my door cracked open. So there would be the hallway light on. A dark figure would open the door and step in and then close the door all the way. And I would be left in the dark knowing I was in there with something. That feeling when you described it immediately threw me back into that, like thinking about that.
Dude, you could make a killer horror game just off of those memories alone.
Oh, dude, I had so many nightmares
Oh
growing
my
up.
god.
Horrible nightmares. Yeah. Chase, you and I, we'll pull from that experience. Don't worry.
Jesus.
Any more to say on Chronos?
No, that's about all I've got at the moment.
So actually, guys, this is crazy. We all have really excellent tangents that tie in to what we're all talking about. This is great. So in line with Chronos having kind of like this virus that appears to have been an issue in this world, very similarly, I would like to talk about Virus X from Metroid. Because I have been playing the hell out of some Metroid Fusion on my Nintendo Switch. And oh boy, that game is a trip. First and foremost, just a trip down memory lane. Because it has such a nostalgic feel of just like those very early 8-bit feeling games. I know I said earlier that I had absolutely no idea what really was a Metroidvania. And actually, before I started playing Hollow Knight, when Sam let me buy his Nintendo Switch off of him, he was like, okay, and just so you know, I have these retro games that I have access to for the rest of the year on my account, and you're welcome to play those. And I was like, okay. And so I looked at him, and the first thing I saw was Metroid Fusion, and immediately was so pumped. Because I grew up playing Super Smash Bros. Brawl on my Wii with my brother, and my favorite character to play was always Samus, because I, like, you know, a young girl, you're playing this badass woman in a suit of armor.
Oh, yeah.
And you're just like, holy shit, a badass lady? Yeah, I want to do that. I want to play that character. So that's kind of just what I was always doing growing up. Had no knowledge about the lore for Samus at all. And I was really like, I've been wanting to get into the lore for Samus and like what her story is for a really long time. And thankfully, I know, Sam, that you looked up like, hey, is like Metroid Fusion like an okay place to start in this franchise for decent lore? And it's kind of generally accepted like, yeah, Metroid Fusion is a decent place to start.
It's a fine place to start as far as I saw.
I have been having so much fun. It is so fun, because it's kind of, we're kind of back in that era of games where they kind of tell you a little bit of what to do, but they don't like shove the tutorial of the game down your throat. They go, okay, here's the general idea, good luck, don't die.
Said you can figure it out.
Yeah,
Trust in the player to have a modicum of intelligence.
yeah, exactly. And something that's so interesting about the enemies in this game, in Metroid Fusion, and I don't know if it's the same in other Metroid games because I haven't played any others, but in Metroid Fusion, something that's so interesting about it is that Samus got the Metroid vaccine, which makes her immune to it's either the virus X or the X virus. I can't remember the exact verbiage they use for it. But basically, Samus has received the Metroid vaccine that makes her immune to this virus that is really problematic for other people who have not received the vaccine. And she can actually absorb the Metroid virus to regain health.
I mean, if we're talking about transitions from one game idea to the other, that seems very reminiscent of what he was talking about with Chronos: The New Dawn.
Yeah, exactly. And like, it's really, really cool because the enemies in Metroid Fusion, if you don't immediately go up to them and absorb the little X virus they exude after you kill them, it will immediately spawn another enemy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you have to like haul ass to get the virus X and absorb it before you can move on. Otherwise, you're just going to be doing the same thing you just did.
Yeah, so not even like just a heal, but like also like how you have to finish your
Exactly.
targets.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. That's like a really interesting way to add tension. So like even after you've completed the fight, you still have to like, oh, a mad dash.
Yeah, well, I mean, because Sam, you watched me play a little bit of Metroid Fusion
Oh, yeah.
a few evenings ago, and I introduced this concept to you, and there are these... Ooh, I hate these guys. There are these like annoying little wasp creatures that come at you at one point in the game, and they are fast too. And so like sometimes the virus X will like try to move away from you after you've killed this enemy. And so I'm like sprinting across this map trying to catch this virus X before it turns into another stupid wasp creature to beat my ass.
That sounds really cool.
It's really cool. It's really, really fun. Have either of you ever played any Metroid game?
I, back in the day, played, I want to say it was like the first one they put out for the Wii. I think it was Metroid Dark Samus.
Oh, wow.
But that one is one of the 3D iterations, like first person-ish. I really enjoyed it.
And I have not played any Metroid games. Even though like I am a self-proclaimed lover of Metroidvania type games, I have not played either of the namesakes to that genre. So
Well, that sounds perfect, because last I checked, sounds to me like you guys are in need of some gamer homework.
I mean, yeah, we have just recently completed our last assignment, so we are open for another.
All right, well, I think I'm going to go ahead and slide Metroid Fusion onto the table, because I think that would be a really good gamer homework assignment for both of you. Especially for you, Sam, if you're like, man, I love Metroidvanias, let's get you a little bit of lore expertise then.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, sometimes it feels like I've been doing myself a disservice not having gone back and seen like the progenitors of the rest of these games that I really like, these Metroidvania games. So I would be very happy to hop into Metroid Fusion.
I would absolutely love to hear what you guys think, because even though it's a game that it's definitely a little bit older, that shit is hard.
Oh yeah, I watched you play it the other night.
I
and,
was getting pissed.
Yeah, you were having a hard time.
Yeah. Because I want to share this with the listeners because I feel like it's really funny. I have this knee-jerk reaction that I do when I get stressed out in games is that I just start saying random things. And so the newest thing that I've started doing when I get stressed out in a game, if I feel like I can't fight back against something, so I won't say what it is because I don't want to give you guys any spoilers for your gamer homework, but there's basically this moment where like you're not supposed to fight back against this one enemy. Your number one goal if you encounter this enemy until you're able to take them on is to run. And there's this part in the game where you have to run. And I couldn't figure out how to get away from said enemy at first. And so I was sprinting down a corridor trying to blast down walls to get away from this enemy. And I was just sitting there and shouting, "Illegal! Illegal! Illegal!"
You can't
true.
do that. It's not
true.
allowed.
I was there. I heard it.
And then,
I can confirm.
and then as soon as, because obviously in my throes of panic, I did not in fact successfully escape said evil person that time. So I was sitting next to Sam and I just sat for a minute and I said, "Did I just scream illegal?" And he goes, "Yeah."
Yes, multiple times, in fact.
Yeah.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah, where did that come from, babe? Just out of curiosity. I was like, I don't know. It just came out of my mouth like a trauma response.
Well, and I don't think I asked where it came from because this is just a common occurrence for you to just start saying random stuff.
Thanks, babe.
Remember,
Really
remember, we established you are what did I say earlier?
chaos incarnate.
You are chaos incarnate. Yes.
Yeah. Guys, no one can ever anticipate what I'm going to say next. You know why? Because I don't freaking know.
Because I didn't think about it yet.
But yeah, I'd be happy to have that be our next assignment. What about you, Chase?
Yeah, I'm always happy to get into a classic.
Oh yeah.
Cool. I'm really excited to see what you guys think about that because I think you're both really, really going to like it.
Well, my friends, I think that's been this episode of Resync. If you made it to the end, thanks for listening. If you like what you heard, you can follow us at Resync Cast on Blue Sky, and you can find Resync on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music.
And hey guys, if you're feeling generous, the best way to help support us is by word of mouth. You know, just spread around the podcast to people you think might enjoy it. I literally recommended it to my mom, and she said, "Yeah, send it my way." So help us out.
Yeah, and if you want to, you can even rate the podcast. Thanks for listening, and until next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.